Hello! You probably clicked on this video because you're either new to Farming and Friends or you've been playing, just you have not gotten rich like this. And in today's video I'm going to be showing you a few ways to get rich and to have a $10 million mansion in the front of your property and still have $10 million. But a lot of people, so I've done a little bit of research. A lot of people like potato farming, and I'd say that's a pretty good way, but it's also really boring because if you just get a giant field, there's just a giant field in your farm, you make a ton of money. It's just you it's so boring. It's insanely boring. And so it is a very good way to make money, and with the research I've done, you make the same profit with cabbage as you do potatoes. So it'd be like, why buy potatoes? But because potatoes grow faster than cabbage does. A whole lot faster. Cabbage takes like 40 minutes to an hour, I think, while potatoes takes less than 20 minutes, like probably 10 minutes at the most, which that's very fast compared to cabbage. That's like, it's either 30 to 50 minutes faster than if you were to use cabbage. So that's just one reason why potatoes are so good. And you make a ton of profit from potatoes, like an absolute ton. Like, I used to have a potato farm, mashed potato farm, and about every other harvest I'd make $3 million off of it. Because of how much money it makes you. Which, that's a lot of money. Considering how I've only 10 mil right now, I'm also not a potato farmer anymore. But our next way to make money would be cake. But cake is not really worth it. I just do cake for fun, not because it makes me a lot of money. Cause you get almost 10 grand a cake, and takes, once you have put eggs, milk, and wheat into the factory, and you make the batter, and you take it over to the cake maker thingy, and you put it in, it takes 35 minutes, which is absolutely insane. Also, I just have cakes. But 35 minutes. That is insane time. That's an insane amount of time. So, cake is definitely not a way to go if you're trying to make yourself rich. Another way, if you're starting out, you should learn how to milk cows and try and do, try, you work for people, and when you're working for them, try and harvest if they have cocoa. I mean, work for people who have tons of money. If they have cocoa, then try and harvest it in straight lines, because otherwise they might not pay you as much if you don't harvest it in straight lines. Because I know I don't pay people as much if they don't harvest in straight lines. And when they do a terrible job at milking cows. Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't have a milk truck out there. Because they just loaded up cows for no reason. But this person did a terrible job at milking my cows. Terrible. And now there's spoiled milk everywhere. This truck right here is almost full of spoiled milk. It is terrible what they did. I don't know how they were able to do this bad of a job, because they milked my cows and didn't get a single bit of free range milk at one point. Which is just insane. Like, how do you not get a single cow to give free range milk? They all have food. They milked all of them while they weren't ready. It's just terrible. So you need to learn how to milk cows correctly. Otherwise, you're not going to get paid as much if you do a terrible job. And you might not even get paid. Which is another thing. You want to try and work for people who seem trustworthy. Because some people won't even pay you. So you need to make sure they're trustworthy and that they will pay you. Because there's definitely been times where I've worked for people and they just didn't even pay me. So, yeah, make sure they're trustworthy. But then, once you have the money, because I know cows and cocoa and stuff, that's really expensive. But once you have the money, that is pretty good too. It's not as good as the big potato farming where you have just a ton of potatoes and you do that. But it's definitely profitable. Though sometimes milking the cows can be kind of annoying. It gets kind of boring milking cows. But as long as you don't, as long as you do a good job, you should be able to make a lot of money from cows and cocoa turning into chocolate milk. So the reason why I don't have potatoes is because that got quite boring. So I just wanted to do something that was more fun. So I got chocolate milk stuff and cake stuff. It was more entertaining. The cake is probably the most entertaining, but it's also the least profit, because you get almost 20 if you sell chocolate milk when it's a bright green. You get $25,000 every single jug of chocolate milk. It takes 10 milk and 25 cocoa in order to make one chocolate milk. And I don't know where I was planning on going. But that's quite a bit of money. If you had a semi and a semi trailer, you could make $2 million. You could make $2.5 million off of 100 chocolate milk, which means you get 1.25 million if you use like one of these milk trucks. Right now you can see chocolate milk isn't bright green, but it's still $23,000, which is quite a bit still. So yeah, chocolate milk is very profitable. And also going back to potatoes and cabbage, you um, those will sell for cabbage will sell for a lot. It is very good if you can't afford potatoes. I'd say I haven't had carrots before. I've just never tried them. Never used them once. But if since I've never used them, I would say cabbage is either second or the third best crop in the game. That's how good it is. So yeah, I would definitely recommend cabbage once you can afford it. This cabbage is 57K per box, and when you can afford potatoes, those are really good. But they're 120K, so yeah, I don't expect you to get those very quickly. And if you're trying to get things like potatoes or cabbage or cocoa or cows or even cake stuff, which I still feel like you shouldn't go if you're trying to get rich, you should work for somebody, because that is someone can give you a ton of money, just tons. I remember one time I worked for somebody for maybe an hour and a half and I made 500,000, which is quite a bit. That's insane to make 500,000. I feel like that's on the high end, but you can still make a ton of money off of working for people. It's quite insane how much money you can make off working for people. But then I feel like those are definitely most profitable ways, and I would not recommend cake. And I keep saying that because you shouldn't do it unless you're already have quite a bit of money and you just want to do something that's more fun, because otherwise cake is just not worth it. So yeah, that's gonna be the video. It wasn't very long. That's because there's not very many ways that I'd say are great that'll make you a ton of money. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. Bye.